Hello, YouTube. Hope you all had a wonderful holiday and you're preparing for the new year. If you're watching this before the new year, that is. And today we're going to do a quick little recap or guide on the Lore Master at the level 60 cap of Moria for the legendary Angmar and Mordor servers. So if we were to look at we'll start with the skill tree here, and you know what, just for the sake of it, I'll do a little reset. So during the level 50 cap, the tree that I had looked something like this. Would have been something like this, because now we get to go up. I think we had 33 points, something like that. Maybe it was 32. Yeah, I guess it may have been 32. I think it was 32. Anyways, doesn't matter. We now have 42 points. So this is what I did with my points. Is I finished off Burning Earth, which is our cracked earth damage. And then I now spent the points into Storm and Staff, which makes our Staff Strike kind of a ranged ability, and it does increase damage. Then, just to further increase the damage of it, we put our 3 points into Fend Them Off. With this, what this does is it makes anytime the enemy is flanked, so when we use Minor Call Flank, Major Call Herring Flanks, or flanks that come from our links, it now makes the Staff Strike do 100% more damage, in addition to the increased damage that we get because it's Storm and Staff, so it does a little bit of a lightning ability. I then put points into Fierce Lightning to finish it off, essentially because we have 3 points at this point remaining. And what I put, you need 2 points, right, to go into a different tree of a different color kind of thing. Potent Sigils, it says it increases Wizard Sigil damage by 5 all the way up to 30%. This, even though it doesn't specifically mention it, does increase Wizard's fire damage. So we have 3 points. We need 2 points to increase the damage by 5%. That's a free, easy 5% damage. Now I kind of have 1 point remaining. And at this point, it's like, okay, well, I have Fierce Lightning at 80%. I could take it to 100%. I get some Staff Sweep damage. There's nothing really wrong with that. Especially for dungeons, you could put some points into Dry Kindling. Actually, I don't want this either. Hold on. I forgot about this. Yes. No, I end with 2 points. So this is where you make the choice. Because I don't need the fire shield. We don't need it. At this point. So what we could do is you do Dry Kindling for AoE. You do Unyielding Sweep for AoE. You also have... we could finish off Fierce Lightning, and then you would maybe put the point to Fire Shield. Or you could increase the damage of Wizard's Fire by 10%. That's what I did. I forgot that I actually don't put points into Fire Shield because I don't really need it. I mean, your fire skills have a 25% chance to raise a protective shield around you, boosting your defenses and reflecting fire damage at attackers. Solo, this isn't bad. Like if you're doing missions on a higher difficulty or something like that, this isn't bad by any means. But in dungeons and raids, you don't really need it. And especially if you're being attacked by mobs that can't die, which there's a lot of that in Moria. You don't need it. So do you rather have the more single target damage output? So that's where I put the points. That's what it looks like. Virtues are always the same, where we're just going full defensive. So I have loyalty, I have honor, I have tolerance for tactical mit and physical mit and resist rating. I have fortitude for more morale, and then I have fidelity for more mits and vitality. If you want the crit, you could do confidence. If you want the more physical mitt, you have compassion. If you want more resist rating, you have charity. You don't need the damage. I know people will say like, oh, well, why aren't you going wisdom? Because it has will and tactical mastery. There's also honesty as well. There's wit, which you could do if you want the finesse rating and the critical rating. I just go full defensives with my virtues, just because at this level cap, getting your morale really high is quite the challenge, and it's so easy to hit the tactical mastery cap. Tactical mastery caps at 210%. I think it's 2,500 rating is the cap. I am over the cap. So I don't need offensive virtues. I don't need wisdom for more mastery. I just don't. Wit is okay because it gives you finesse and crit over the mastery rating, but I'd still rather have the extra 250 morale. I'd rather have the extra resist rating and tactical mitigation, because I don't think my physical and tactical mitt is capped. I did hit the 37%, but I think just barely. Actually, I think this goes up to 40%, if I remember right. Or maybe it's 37, 40, and 45. Doesn't matter. I'd rather have the mitigations. It's more worth it, in my opinion. But yeah, so that's your virtues. That's the talent tree. So now we'll just do a quick talk about gear. Here's our Lore Master Trainer in Moria.
Greetings, friend.
So basically what we want... Ooh, I can get... You know what? Let's get this. I can now have my robe finally. I like that. So the Moria set is probably our best set. Don't worry about this purple gear. If you're really struggling to get into groups because of low gear, then fine, get this purple gear that only requires like the 3 medallions instead of the 10 to 25 kind of thing. But honestly, I think it's a massive waste, and you're more beneficial just saving up your medallions to just get this blue gear. And for Red Lore Master, this is the best set. I don't know if they just fixed it or if it was a misinterpretation. However, I did hear not too long ago that there was a bug with this piece of gear. At the time of recording, there was a bug where the staff strike doesn't consume flanked effect. So what's supposed to happen with this piece of gear is, let's say I use Minor Call. I wonder if there's a training dummy around here. Maybe not. But I use Minor Call, I put a flank on the enemy, and then when I use Staff Strike, normally it would consume the flank to do that 100% bonus damage that we talked about with Fend Them Off. But what would happen is that because of this set bonus saying it doesn't consume the flank, it wasn't... What's intended with the set is it doesn't consume the flank, but it does the bonus damage, meaning that you can just spam Staff Strike off of one flank and just get more damage that way. However, there was a bug where the set bonus was not only preventing the flank from being consumed like it's supposed to, but it was preventing the damage effect, right? So the game was like, oh, well, it's not consuming the flank, so we're not going to give you the 100% bonus. So it was like counterintuitive to use the gear, because if it's not going to consume the flank and give us the 100% bonus damage, then what's the point of the set? However, I just did some testing earlier, and I do believe it's actually fixed. Or if there was a bug, it's maybe it's like only a bug 50% of the time or whatever. Regardless, I've done crits with Staff Strike on a flanked target that hit for 5k. If the bug existed, that I wouldn't be able to hit that 5k, nor would the flank still be there. So this Moria set is our best set as a red LM. I can go showcase the DN one just to show it. I think they put it here. Yeah, just so that we can have a discussion about it. But and ideally, what you'll want to do is eventually you'll do 4 Moria and 2 DN or 2 Lothlorien gear. Eventually, right? Because you don't need 6. I have 6 because I haven't been able to do DN yet. It's actually incredibly hard. And it was not what people expected, but that's a different discussion for another time. So yeah, the Moria and Watcher stuff is the best gear that you can essentially get for a red LM, and you wouldn't really need anything else. You're not going to find a whole lot of morale anywhere else, so that's kind of your best bet. So if we go to the Lothlorien gear, right, the gloves, essentially the same piece of gear. This just comes with finesse, and the Lothlorien set is for yellow LM, where it increases the blinding flash duration, and it has a lower test of will cooldown. So if you're a yellow LM, this is what you want. Red LM, you want the Moria set. But as you can see stat-wise, even though doing DN is way harder, the stats are essentially exactly the same. The only thing that changes is like the tertiary stats, right? So this gives me in-combat power instead of crit. I don't want that. This gives me outgoing healing instead of finesse and mastery. Don't really want that. I'd rather have the finesse over the outgoing healing. This is one that I would switch later. I would take the finesse rating over the in-combat power regen. This is one I would switch, where I'd take the critical defense over the tactical mastery. So that would be my 2 set pieces, right? I would maybe take the gloves and the chest, and then I have an extra 4 vitality, but I still get to maintain my 4 set bonus for Moria. Fate doesn't really matter anymore. I believe the Moria helmet is also crit rating. If it's not, then I would end up doing helm and shoulders from Lothlorien, and then just stick with the in-combat power regen of the Moria gloves. But yeah, so that's probably the best gear you can get. Jewelry wise, this isn't the best set for Lore Master, but it is what it is. Where is it this vendor? What brings you to Lorien? There's the Dream Flower set. So Earring of the Dream Flower and then Ring of the Dream Flower. So this is the earring. You need Kindred standing to barter for it. You may look at the stats and think they're really weird to get, which they kind of are. However, we don't need will, because as I showed you, our mastery is easily capped, and what you see at the bottom there is 2 different set items equipped. Gives us Lothlorien knowledge, which is a 15% all skills induction reduced. Is it this one? Yeah, so we basically just cast things faster. This ring is really good. Morale, tactical crit multiplier, and will. This is really good, and I would recommend getting this piece for sure, no matter what. Do you need the earring? No. However, there isn't really anything better than that earring. So I would wear this. Then the only other thing I would get is there's the because all these other pieces aren't. This is for healers, and we don't really need the outgoing healing. If you're a yellow LM, you could, instead of having the Dream Flower set. And shadows creep up from the depths. Should be a jeweler Lothlorien robe. Because there's the jewelry here. Is it from this person then, maybe? It's one of these ones.
What brings you to Lorien?
Servants of the enemy cannot pass the bounds of Lorien.
Oh, I don't remember where they are. But there, anyways, there's the... You know what? I can just showcase them this way. Auction house. So we have the Sublime stuff, which is probably the best you're going to get. Oh, there is none on the auction house. That's crazy. Well, I have the earrings. These are probably the best earrings you can get, aside from the Lothlorien stuff that I just showed you. This is probably the best ring you can get, aside from, of course, the Dreamflower one I just showed you. There's the bracelets would be... What if we do this? Crafting? Nope. Jewelry, level 58. I think it's level 58 stuff. Yeah. The glowing R8 band. So you would... There's a tactical version of this that would be really good. There's a tactical version of the earring that would be really good. There's a tactical bracelet one that would be really good. So it's you're just your standard crafted stuff with a couple of bartered items, right? Yeah, there is no Sublime stuff. That's kind of crazy. There is also the turtle bracelet. The turtle bracelet is actually better than anything else because, again, this gives us the most crit. We don't need mastery, so it doesn't matter. This bracelet gives us the most crit. So you do want turtle bracelets, and then so turtle bracelets. I haven't found a good pocket item yet. Haven't been able to find that, but yeah. So you want turtle bracelets. You'd probably want either the Sublime or this Lothlorien or R8 band for jewelry, for your ring. Sorry, the necklace. I will post it on the screen now. There's a necklace that comes from Forges of Khazad-dûm, which it gives you 5% more tactical damage. That is the best necklace that we can get in the game, and it will probably last us until even Mirkwood. Like when level 65 is the level cap, that necklace will still be the best one you can get. I don't think it'll be replaced in Mirkwood if I remember correctly. Pocket item, I'm still trying to find a really good one. I'm sure there's some good, just random like quest ones that are really good. There'll be some. Maybe there's a tank one that drops that you just want the extra morale for. The cloak that you want is the Cloak of Shadow and Flame, which drops from the book instance in, what was it, book 2 or volume 2, book 8, chapter 9 or something like that. I can show you where to farm it here. But yeah, essentially you just want to follow the book quests until you fight a big spooky weird sounding demon thing in the underground. No, I guess it's not book 8. Is it book 9? Book 7? We'll see in a second. Because there's a place to farm it. So when you unlock the book quest, you can go to this reflecting pool here. This is the 21st hall. You go to the reflecting pool, and it is called New Devilry. Farm this. You'll get a blue version of this singed cloak, and essentially it just gives you extra morale and more of all of the stats and more armor. That's probably the best cloak you can get. I think there's a good one that drops from the Grand Stair that I know is more dedicated towards tanks, but it'll be the most morale that you can get on a cloak, which is better than anything else that we can get. Because there isn't really a good crit cloak that I can think of off the top of my head. There might be somewhere. I know there's a lot of random blue pieces that drop from random dungeons, that you could just wear instead of all of these Moria pieces, which some people were doing because the Moria set was broken. But now that it's fixed, I think that this gear is better. But if you're going for a crit set, there's bunch of random pieces of gear that drop from a variety of dungeons that will give you more crit, but your morale will suffer, so you can do a bit of a glass cannon build. Alrighty, so that's the gear. Finally, what we'll talk about is the legendary items. So, the best ones you want. I argue that heroic precision is the best word of craft. You want 2 of them, right? So you have put 1 on your staff, you put 1 on your book, then you get an extra 3% crit chance. And then at higher levels, when we can have more words of craft, you have the 4 set, and you get an extra crit rating. We always want more crit. The heraldries it's the heraldry of the eagle or the heraldry of the sparrow. The sparrow one has slightly more vitality, and it gives us outgoing healing, which we don't need. But as I always mention, mastery and will is super easy to get. So tactical mastery is super easy to cap, so we just want as much morale as possible. Heraldry of the Sparrow, I believe, ends up earning you more vitality in the long run. I think you need the blue version for it or something like that. I don't have it yet because I just haven't been able to farm for it just yet. Then you'll want 2 of those. Then you want single target attack damage. Right? 20 at blue, it's 20% single target attack damage. That's great. That's massive. And then you also want single. Wait, do I have 2 of those? No, there we go. That's what I was looking for. Single target attack critical. So at blue, this is 8% crit chance and 20% critical magnitude. So we're just buffing our single target damage. Later, we'll want the AoE versions. There is an argument to be made to do the AoE ones first, because Sticky Gourd's AoE, Lightning Storm's AoE, Ring of Fire is AoE, Ants Go to War is AoE, Nature's Fury is AoE. So our big hitting skills are all AoE. So for more insane burst, you could go the AoE route instead. I prefer the single target path first, only because there are spammable skills. Burning Embers we use a lot. Lightning Strike we use a lot. Staff Strike we use a lot, especially with how our set bonus works, right? So this is where I say single target path first, because later on we'll be able to get the AoE ones anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, now we'll talk about the actual words of mastery. So, Sticky Gourd damage is number 1. Staff Strike skill damage is number 2. These 2 are a must-have. Sticky Gourd does a lot of damage now. Staff Strike because of our set bonus and our new points that we have. Staff Strike damage is a must-have. This one's really good. Your Staff Strike will be hitting really hard, like I mentioned earlier. When I crit, it hits for like 5k. That is insane. Lightning Skill's critical chance multiplier is the 3rd one that I really like, as Lightning Strike skills includes Staff Strike because of the trait, Lightning Strike, Nature's Fury, Lightning Storm. It's just a whole bunch of free damage and critical chance and all that good stuff. So it's just really good to have. Now, there's an argument to be made for the 4th slot, because the 4th slot, I do Burning Embers, because again, it's a spammable skill. Some people have said that this only buffs the dot and not the initial hit. I haven't done that testing myself, so if you're concerned about that, Then what you do is you do the Nature's Fury trait. What is it? Word of Mastery instead of Burning Embers. But I feel like that's a bug if that is the case, and that's where Burning Embers is better because, again, it's a spammable skill. However, like I say all the time, in the end, none of it really matters because as the level cap increases, we're gonna have all of this stuff anyways. Right? Unless you're doing the top tier content at the hardest difficulty, at the highest level, constantly all the time, that's where that stuff matters. But if you're just the person that's coming on, hitting level cap, wants to do some dungeons, wants to do the Watcher, maybe try DN once or twice kind of thing, and that's really it, then the difference between Burning Embers and Nature's Fury is not going to really matter in that scenario. It's really not. I know there's people that constantly come into my videos, constantly come into my streams, and are like, this information's wrong. You need to do this. No, this information isn't for the min-maxers. It's not for the top DPSers of the world. They have their information. They know what they're doing. These videos are for the people that are just here learning. They're new. They just want something easy to obtain that they can still do well in all content. So eventually Burning Embers will be fixed if it's not fixed already, and it will be the go-to one anyways. But if you happen to just have Nature's Fury instead, because maybe you found a blue version of Nature's Fury before you found a blue version of Burning Embers, that's going to be better. And then you're not going to want to switch it later, right? Because it's a pain to rotate these out and then replace the blue one that you already have. So, yeah. I guess your sword, we didn't talk about sword, would be... There could be a crafted one that's really good, but this is the best stuff. But yeah, that's our legendary stuff. If I to go back to gear, here's the big thing. I would replace the necklace. I will replace the bracelets eventually, but a lot of this stuff that I have on me right now comes from the skirmish camp. Like this ring, I know it looks trash, but that vitality and morale is insane. There's no ring that gives me this much morale. If I put on another one of these, I lose out on morale. If I put on one of the Lothlorian pieces, I lose out on the morale. So honestly, this is one of the best rings that you can get for morale, and it just comes from this dude right here. That's the 21st Hall. This is the skirmish camp. This dude has insane jewelry and cloaks. So it's just something to keep in mind, because it's going to be a lot until I replace this. I'm going to keep, which also came from this dude, until I get the Forges of Khazad-dûm necklace. The bracelets I'm going to keep, which also came from this dude, until I get the Watcher stuff. And so it's really just some crafted stuff. So if you need some damage, you do crafted, but if you need more morale, go to that vendor in the skirmish camp. And that's for every class. Like, anyone could go over there. All of that gear is good. But yeah, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you for watching. I hope you found it helpful. I'll be doing a Guardian one here soon enough. And then from there, don't know which class yet. I still have to level up some classes. I do have a lot on the main servers. I do have a lot of classes that are over level 60. And what I could do, if you guys really want, is just do a video from the perspective of those other servers. Like, I'll be level 140 and I'll have insane stats, but I can still show you where the best gear is, and we can still talk about it, if you're okay with that. But if you'd rather it just be... I be the same level as you guys so that you can follow along better, that's totally fine. It'll just take me a bit more time to level up everything and talk about them. But yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate you all. And once again, I'm going to leave a link or the next playable video as my Moria series that I've been working on for a while. I posted it on YouTube in the summer of 2024. I'm slowly turning it into an animated show, but for now, I would appreciate if you just go look on the channel, look up Balin's Expedition to Moria. There's a playlist there. You can see the story that I wrote. At the end of it, I talk about sending it to Amazon before they made Rings of Power and what happened there. It's a passion project of mine, and I would appreciate it if you just checked it out. And if you liked it, let me know. But yeah, thanks for coming, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.